Yeah, Jan would have to have a run similar to the one he pulled off a couple nights ago against Ouija Wee. All right. All right, so we will be getting underway here shortly. Thank you for tuning in. We have 3 races on tap for tonight. All 3 of them will be right here at twitch.tv/UnosXX. I am the Greenleaf Effect. With me is Breasticle.
Hi!
That's Breasticle.
Hang on.
And,
Open.
and apparently that's also a thing that can be added to the audio loop and triple jaws.
I got triple jaws. Sorry, I got Pierpont starting off.
Alrighty,
first. I got a wood sword on Jamie, and I got a wood sword on Pierpont. Interesting strategies for these 2 guys.
Yep. So it looks like we're both getting 2 firsts from both of these guys. So as they make their way to 2, what are they looking at having resource-wise, rupees and bombs and keys coming out of level 2?
I think all of the keys and some of the rupees. Jamie's gonna pull ahead here with these clips, and then kind of lose the time here as he lines up for him. So there you can see a active demo of if the clips are worth it or not. Pierpont going for none of them, just trudging straight forward. Jamie gonna try for the bomb here and not get it. Loses a heart in the exchange. Pierpont with a crazy moblin pattern blocking the entryway there. Gets in at 101.
Yep.
Jamie at 107.
Yep. So Pierpont getting some decent rupee luck in the rope room, leaving with 7. So that's you're looking to get as many rupees as you can coming out of 2.
I'd say 30 is great. 20 is fine. 40 is awesome. No bomb for Pierpont there. Gets his Master Gorilla.
Getting some decent rupee luck, hitting 13 rupees going into the Moldorm room.
Bombs for Jamie either. It's gonna be a long 2.
It is going to be a very long 2.
Alright, Pierpont got his 3 keys and doubles back for a 5 rupee.
Yeah, so he'll be leaving with right around the 30 you said was what you're looking for. That's got to be good. He's entering this Gorilla room. The one thing he's trying to get here is at least 1 random bomb drop so he can be leaving with full 8, assuming he gets the bomb drop off of Dodongo, and he does get one here.
Yep, Jamie's not in a good position here. He can't block all those boomerangs, but fortunately the Gorilla is a little dumb and drops a bomb on the other side of the room for him. Nice Dodongo by Pierpont, getting out of there at 230.
Very nice. And now joining us on commentary in the middle of 2 is the old man of Zelda himself. Hi, Fred.
Hi, TGE. Happy whatever day it is.
Sunday?
Sounds about good.
Yeah, something like that. How's it going?
That's going pretty good here. Looking forward to some exciting action here, especially with Jam finishing up level 2. He's actually not that far behind. Still is anyone's race.
Yeah. So
yeah, the first 3 minutes, it's hard to make a determination.
You'd be surprised. When I die in level 2, that's often a determination that I'm not going to win.
Yes, but usually that involves a death. No one's died yet.
You have to make the determination that Fred at any point during his race was going to win.
You mean that I'm never going to win?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. As long as we're on the same page there. Page 307.
I was on 306.
Crap.
Is my book lagging?
You're holding it upside down.
Oh, that's what it was. Wait, so 603? What is...
90E.
Oh, 90E. Okay, I'm all confused now. Both streamers now picking up the heart at either Heart Rock or Monocle Rock, however you want to pronounce it. And they'll both be cutting across the Lost Hills here to pick up the White Sword. The White Sword does require 5 hearts to pick up, so that's why you see them stopping at Monocle Rock there.
Whoa! What is Jamie doing? He just tangled with the Lionel too much. He's getting the White Sword now. Pierpont got it at 404. 5 seconds behind.
Jam's messed up his splits by doing that too. Not splits, his spawns, because of the fact that the Lionel's not spawning here, so that's going to change the rest of his spawns here for at least a couple of spots.
Killing Lionel on the way in. Not the best of strategies, but giving up on the screen scroll here as well.
Yeah, I usually try to do like one shot myself, and then if I fail miserably, I assume I'm not going to get it. It's faster to walk. You gotta get it first try, or else it's faster to walk.
Yeah, and for those who might be tuning in for the first time here, when Fred and BT are referring to the screen scroll, what they mean is it requires perfect positioning and perfect tapping. Basically, cause Link to turn around in the position you have him in, exit one side of the screen, and reappear on the other.
Yeah, we're gonna call that a PPFP, pixel perfect, frame perfect.
Yep.
5 pixels from the edge and a 1 frame press.
Yep.
God, Pierpont's great on rupees right now.
Yeah, he's 90 heading into 1 and hitting some a 5-drop there. He's looking really good. Speaking of heading into 1, as Jam is heading into 1 right now, you'll see him entering and exiting. And what that does is it tricks the game into thinking that you've entered through the top to get rid of the key door. Is that pretty much how it works, Fred?
Yep, that's pretty much what it is when you enter the dungeon, the game thinks that you entered the same way you did on the overworld. So when you leave the dungeon, it thinks you entered from the top. And so when you walk back in, the game says, well, he entered from the top, clearly the key is going to be, he came through a key door already from the other side, so he has to have unlocked it. So I'm just
Jamie gets the variety pack from the 3 Gorilla there. He gets the Heart Bomb Rupee.
Set. Yeah.
Nice.
Little lacking on Roops. I want to be at 54 here.
Yeah, that's true. You guys skipping the 30 secret there and coming back to it later. I still prefer getting that 30 secrets, so that way when I'm done with level 4, I can possibly buy the items, and then it gives me a couple of backup strats in 5 if I need to. But that's just me.
Pierpont
TG,
completely ignoring Lord Banana's room. Well, I'm dying because he just skipped through Lord Banana's room. Of course I am.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It was such a tragedy. Yeah, wait. So we understand now a little bit more about the banana and how it works. I think we might get it into the metagame soon.
I approve of that. Viva la revolution!
If you hit Old Man Fred with a boomerang at point blank, it increases your kill count by exactly 7. If you want to force a thing, you can just banana the old man.
Kind of makes sense, actually, in retrospect, because I've always noticed, at least with the magical boomerang, that when I throw it, it spawns, far enough out from me. So it's probably just that same concept of that, and so, well, maybe. I mean, people who want to be sure that they can force a bomb in 9, be a great little tool for them if they can quickly kill 3 gorillas.
Well, 7 plus 7 is 14, and 14 is really close to 16. So.
Oh, that's true. If you think you're going to die, it's
hot
horrific.
fairy action.
Yep. So
train action.
Yeah. So what they're referring to, again, for those who this might be your first time here, kill counting in 14 and 7, all those numbers. The game itself keeps track of the amount of enemies that you've killed, and on certain numbers, certain groups of enemies have a chance to drop certain items. The big thing that they're referring to here is the consecutive kills counter, which the game keeps a running tally of the number of enemies you killed and if you've gotten hit or not. So if you kill 10 consecutive enemies without getting a hit, if that enemy is capable of dropping an item, which are most enemies are not named keys or gels with the little tiny dot things, it will get a 5 rupee drop. However, if you kill that 10th enemy with a bomb, you'll be able to force a bomb drop. If you then continue the consecutive kills counter all the way up to 16, that will be a forced fairy drop. Meanwhile, Pierpont is making his way in through level 3, and Jam having a little bit of difficulty with the screen scrolling here.
Yeah, I was going to point out watch Jammy Jam execute the screen scrolls over to level 3, but probably don't want to take too many notes here. He could have been there by now if he went around the long way. Pierpont got the double fairy in the room above, or the atomic room, but he's been full health and beaming. Looking at his splits here, he went from +7 out of 2 to -4 out of 1, so he's actually ahead of PB pace, but we'll see how this level 3 winds up for him. Jamie can gain some ground here.
Yeah, it depends. All depends on how Manhandler wants to behave.
Yeah, it definitely does. Although with the with his level 3 splits here, if with the amount of time that or rather at the time he got the raft, with the time going there, if he plays at about the top tier player level going over to Manhandla, he'll be pretty close, I think, to even. Although he's stopping to get bombs, so yeah, he won't be. Never mind, he's gonna probably lose a little time here.
Yeah, gets the security bomb. I mean, it's a race situation. You're gonna want to make sure you have plenty of bombs for level 4. You don't want to run out and not be able to get through level 4.
Meanwhile, Jam killing a bunch of enemies in the room above the atomic room, trying probably to bring up his count, but then gets hit, but then hits a clock anyway, so making short work of that room, especially easier with the white sword.
Nice.
Speaking of that,
is a Pierpont there with a really nice kill of Manhandla, hitting the first, the first bomb didn't go great, so he only hit 3 of the 4 sides, but then he was able to sword the bottom piece without too much damage, so he didn't even lose much time on the refill.
Yeah, and
he's now headed to 4.
Yeah, and like you said, he's a little now behind on his PB by 5 seconds. So now moving over to level 4, you're going to see them pick up a item that is pretty integral to the rest of the route. It is the step ladder. Now what the step ladder is going to allow them to do is you will notice that there is a bunch of water not only throughout the map but also in the dungeons. The step ladder is an item that allows you to cross a 1-panel wide tile of water. But what they're going to use it for is utilizing the exact same concept as the screen scroll, the pixel perfect, frame perfect taps.
It's Manhandla! Oh, he's dead. Thank goodness. Manhandla dies.
As I said, using the same principle as the screen scroll, you can do the same concept on the perfect pixel of the ladder, and it will allow you to cross 2-panel wide tiles of water. Which they will put to use immediately in level 4 to skip a room that would require you to go around and go through 3 rooms otherwise.
Pierpont getting through this NSU room by playing Hyrule's famous minigame of shoot the keys with the beam sword. He's pretty good at it, though. He's got enough rupees to do his shopping after this as well.
And as Fred was saying, doing shopping after 4 does allow you to have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to levels 5 and 7.
It also saves you a minuscule amount of time on the whistling portion too if you can do the shopping before you go over to level 5, because then you can warp to level 3 after you beat level 5, and it saves you a whistle then when you blow the whistle to go to 2 after you beat level 6. So it actually saves you 1 whistle transition by doing that if you can pull it off.
So a quick recap there, Fred. You have to whistle 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 times?
I think it's 1 plus 2 plus
2 plus 1.
I think you got it.
So 2 out of 5, but 1 after 6?
Yeah, you do 2 out of 5. You have to do 2 out of 5 regardless, whether you're going to level 3 or level 4. But and for those who when you have to do shopping, it's been shown to be much more efficient to whistle to level 4 to do the shopping. It's slightly faster if you're good at your screen scrolls to be able to get over to the shops from level 4.
We got a Gleeok fight happening here, guys. Got
so I'm
white
stopping.
sword. Makes it pretty good to go. He's plus on his splits. Jammy's fallen down to 3 bombs at the moment where he's getting the step ladder here. So he actually has 1 bomb to work with on a force. He needs 2 to get through the room north of NSU room, and then another 1 to get through the rupee room, which will drop him down to 1. He's capable of storing his bomb drop into gels, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And to just have a quick recap of what Fred was talking about when it comes to whistling, the whistle or the recorder is the dungeon item for level 5, and in addition to shrinking the dig dog, or the boss of level 5, it also allows you to play it and warp to any dungeon you have previously obtained the Triforce in, and depending on which way you are facing when you blow it, and where's your last dungeon you whistle to will depend on where you go.
Phrasing, TGE, phrasing.
And Pierpont is doing his shopping right at the end of 4, so he's picking up both the bait and the arrows, which are 2 of the required items you need. You need the arrows to kill Goma in level 6, and the bait to get by a very hungry Gorilla in level 7. The only other required item that they have the possibility of purchasing is a blue candle, but based on what I'm seeing, this is red candle.
Yeah,
we
both of
got
them are running red candle.
We got an overworld bomb force out of Pierpont. He worked up a 10 count and then bombed a red moblin to get a bomb out of him on his way to do the world wrap here.
That is impressive, because that typically when you're at that point in the game, you're not usually thinking about trying to get a 10 count. You need bombs for level 5. You want to have ideally as many bombs as you can coming into level 5 in order to be able to fight some of the blue dark nuts that we'll be seeing in just a couple of minutes. But typically you want to have as many bombs possible, but typically you're picking them off of random blue enemies that you're running into on the way. So it's really cool to actually see someone force a bomb in that situation.
But it looks like Jamie's two-framing a lot here, really trying to get himself together on these screen scrolls. He started off really great with the sword buffered screen scrolls on the way to 2, and he is just falling apart on these right to lefts.
Well, the sword buffer gives you that much extra window. So,
these race nerves are hard on him, though. He gets the lucky bomb, the same place Pierpont was able to force it.
My typical strategy is to pray that I get something there. But yeah, no, as we were saying, the difference on the screen scrolls, for those who haven't seen it before, Jam just hit a really nice one there, skipping over the Lost Woods, is...
Yeah, he's capable.
Yeah. The thing is, with if you're scrolling from the right side of the left side of the screen, the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen, as Jam then shows just how awesome he is at this, gets his second bombs, now he'll have plenty of bombs for level 5. But if you're going from left to right, you can do a sword buffer if you're on the right pixel, which allows you to not necessarily have to be frame perfect. Oh, look at that extra bomb. He's on fire on bombs now. So you don't need to necessarily sword buffer to... you don't need to be pixel... Well done, sir. You just have to do a sword buffer, which cuts down the frame perfect portion of the trick. You still have to be on the right pixel. But when you're going right to the left, you have to do frame perfect, pixel perfect, and so he can potentially lose a little time there.
Yeah. Pierpont now is making his way into one of the first of 3 forced blue dark nut rooms in the game. This one specifically is guarding the recorder, which is a required item. Usually you'd see a bunch of people try and kill them with bombs here, but Pierpont having the white sword is just opting to keep the 4 bombs that he has and just stab the dark nuts to death.
Yeah, in his previous races, we've seen him come in here with Beam Sword and actually take him out very, very quickly. This is a little bit slower than normal, but he's able to get through the room with full health after the fact. Jamie is trying to work up a count here.
Yeah, as I say,
he's way into the 5.
Yep, back to 1. But yeah, no, Pierpont's also got the advantage. He's walking with 4 bombs here, so he can pick up an extra 4 bombs that was in one of the Gibdos back here, and he'll have full bombs, so that way he can exit level 5 here with 7 bombs. 7 bombs is the minimum number for safety speedrun purposes of going through level 7 without running out of bombs.
These dark nuts are just not letting him through.
Oh, ouch. Oh, geez.
Not too capable of getting the slide and the stab and slide maneuver. Tries to get around him safely, but pick up his Gibdo bomb on the way back through here, so puts him at 8, and he shouldn't have to use any bombs in the remainder of level 5 here. Jamie's now going to start the ordeal. Room. Maybe on your stream.
Oh yes, maybe.
Jamie just going into the basement here, and Pierpont just entering to Dongo on the other side.
Yep. So Jam will be going through the same blue dark nut room that you saw Pierpont doing, and it looks like Jam is trying to set up some bombs here, although they weren't behaving, so it looks like he's going to go and use beams. Oh, there's the bomb.
Yeah,
Jam
will use the bombs when he can, but he also knows he has to use some beam swords usually.
Yeah. So speaking of the whole bombing thing, I personally did not realize when I first started playing this game, even when I first started watching this game, speedrun-wise, that you could actually bomb dark nuts. So do one of you two want to explain the general mechanics behind bombing dark nuts?
Well, you see, when you enter Mount Ordeals, or the Blue Nut Recorder Room, it's important that you, shed the dark skin tunic and become the paladin with the recorder.
This isn't FF4, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you plant a bomb, the bomb is going to store the position it was laid in. It's hard to tell in the sprite, but the bomb does orient itself with the blue side down and the string side up, no matter which way you're facing there. But
Yes.
it stores the direction the sprite is facing, which is equal to Link's sprite when he places it. And if it contacts a Dark Nut who's facing into that direction, it will not take damage. So you got 3 out of 4 chances to deal that 4 damage, magical sword damage, to anything hurt by that explosion.
Yeah, for those of you trying to visualize it, the Dark Knight has a shield. And if you strike the shield head on, normally with the sword, the Dark Knight would, it would bounce off that. Similarly, the bombs have that same capacity, the fact that they keeps track of what direction it was when you put it down. And so if the bomb explosion hits the Dark Knight head on, the shield blocks it. Otherwise, it meets a very painful death.
Yeah, I think no other monster has an orientable hitbox, right? Everyone else is vulnerable on all sides.
Would be correct, yes.
So the Dodongo is invulnerable on all 4 sides, and you gotta smoke him or feed him 2 bombs, and that'll cause him to die, but the Dark Knights are only immune to front.
There.
Yeah, getting beams constantly will help him. We asked him about this in his interview after his last race, and he's like, yeah, I like getting full health and using beams. It seems slower, but I can do more damage this way, and it's true, it doubles the damage of your sword.
Safety. It gives them significant safety if you're shooting the beams. That way you're not getting hurt, and then it saves you at the end. It might seem a little slower on the fighting portion, but at the end of the level, you get a whole bunch of extra time saved on lack of health refill.
I mean, that's absolutely correct. And another point that he made was that, the more you have beam sword, the easier it is to keep. So it's just, great gains for a small investment of just playing the game better.
Agreed.
Jam having a little bit of trouble with Dig Dogger there, taking lots more hugs than he probably wanted to, but he's going to survive and get the heart. And Pierpont now making a quick pit stop here in this Gorilla room to pick up a red candle, which is required to get into level 8. You do need a candle.
And one thing to note, Jam is short 1 bomb over what he would prefer to have entering a level 7. There's typically 7 bombs you have to use. You've seen Pierpont walking through, for example, right now, having used 3 of the bombs up to this point. And now he's going to use 2 on Dig Dogger, and then there's 2 more to break down walls to get to Aquamentus, who's the boss of level 7. Oh, and the friends are running away, and Pierpont actually kills all 3 of them, which is kind of an amazing, tough thing to do. He looked like he was considering a backup strategy, but the Dig Dogger spawns found the way to follow him safely, as he was able to kill him safely. So good for him, although he took a little bit of damage on the health.
Tackling with some wall masters now, gets the 5th one, who of course drops the clock when it's useless, but also the safest place to get the clock in that room.
It's not
Jamie's
completely
finishing up his
useless.
shopping here. Yeah, they can't prevent you from taking bubble hits, but
Yeah.
that's the least of your worries when everything's dead.
It's true.
Jamie got a shopping done here, so that's a little extra time behind. Pierpont just getting a bomb on the way through the room east of the basement towards Aquamentus.
Beautiful luck.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah, it
pretty
looks like
smooth.
he's going to take some 1 second off his minus 23 run here. 0.8 of a second he saved in that 7.
Nice. And Jam's now walking through as well. Again, key thing to note is somewhere here Jam's going to need a bomb drop. He can potentially pick up there's a couple of places where he could potentially get a random drop, and there's a couple of rooms that are coming up. There's one room in particular with like 6, or yeah, I think it's 6 blue gorillas, where he could potentially, the room has a drop if he kills all the gorillas.
I would like to point out now that the chat is trying to figure out which 8-bit Zelda characters correspond to the Final Fantasy IV characters.
Well, I'm all in favor of the Spoony Bard levers. That makes the most sense to me, too.
Yeah. We've got the Spoony levers. Apparently, the red and blue Wizrobes are Porom and Palom. We have a vote for the Poles. We have a vote for the Poles' voices being Kain, and Zelda being Rosa because she's constantly being captured.
That's a really good point.
Joe has pointed out that the old man is actually Sid and not Fred. I'll let you two debate about that.
I always thought it was be Sid in an altar and like another life, so I'm willing to accept that.
Is Sid old in Final Fantasy IV, or has he become an old man later in the series?
No, he becomes an old man later. He looks kind of young in that one.
He's still an old man, though. I mean, because I mean, older than usual, because he does make the comment in when Porum and Palom after the Kainazo fight that it should have been him because he's an older man. Both him and Tella both make that comment.
Oh,
So
interesting.
he's got to be somewhere between Tella and child-aged.
Right.
Narrowed
so
it down.
Yes.
Good on you. Good pull. Good pull. Dig Dog
good
going
point,
down for
okay.
Jamie right now. Gotta go
Yeah.
the bomb. He did get the bomb from the Guerilla, so he did stop to farm it up, which is good because
Okay,
he's gonna be
that works,
comfortable
yeah.
with his bombs now. And then he does the second bomb on Dig Dogger, and
Yep, and he's also safe. You're seeing the room right now on Pierpont's side where he bombs through. If you do not
Wow.
have a bomb in that room, you have to. Ouch!
do not blink on Pierpont's screen right now.
Ow.
Oh boy.
He is-
Wow.
But yes, if you don't have the bomb, you have to fight a Gleeok in order to advance.
Getting a heart drop there as he moves into what we have started to call the magical breakfast, or as I like to say, La Charms. But anyway.
Pardon's complete breakfast.
Yep. He's going to want to do his best to avoid anything to do with those Wizrobes, because Wizrobe hugging you is going to be, 2 hearts of damage, and the orange beam specifically is... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say any hit from a blue Wizrobe, whether it's the beam or whether it's the a hug, would be a 2 heart of damage to you. For the yellow Wizrobe, touching it is 1 heart damage, and the beam is 4 hearts of damage.
Yeah, and just
Biggest
to
damage
note,
in the game.
Yeah, the 4 heart beam is also the same amount of damage as Ganon hugging you, which is effectively known as the high roll driver.
Oh wow, Pierpont getting 4 health out of the Vire room, which is bomb dropping group.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, he forced
He's gotta be happy
forced
with that.
fairy. You can't
Yeah.
get fairies in the bomb group, so he actually killed 16 consecutive without taking damage, and that's why he's
Which
got
makes
that
sense, because if
fairy.
he took any damage before, then he'd be dead.
He would die.
So.
Oh.
Another fairy from Goma, so really
Wow.
shortens up the refill time here. Jamie was going to be able to gain some time, but it looks like Pierpont was able to take about 12 of his own seconds back here.
Wow, that was really cool. And as a minor side note, Sid is in fact 50. So your definition of old may vary, but those of you curious, in Final Fantasy IV, he was 54.
Older than Fred equals old,
Ooh.
so
Wow.
take 50.
Apparently,
Your
just for
point.
those curious, a bomb does not teleport you to level 2.
I wish it would.
I mean, how would we know that unless we tested?
Well, Pierpont to us.
Exactly, so, no.
Pierpont
That's
doing
true. I
some
may have broken
strategy
something on
testing.
the randomizer, so.
Every good scientist.
What did you break this time, Fred?
No, I'm saying I may have broken something with the, making a bomb allow you to warp, but clearly that didn't seem to work this time.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
I found these seeds pretty suspicious, so...
Yeah, they always seem to be the exact same. I'm really confused about it.
Jamie coming in with
Ooh.
this half heart miss and gets a fireball, but doing pretty well on those keys.
Without
Pierpont was trying
without
beam
sword,
here.
that was nice.
Yeah, and Pierpont in the second of the 3 forced Dark Nut rooms. These two, while a little bit more difficult because the fireballs, are also made slightly easier by the fact you now have the Magic Sword. Magic Sword is going to deal 4 hearts of damage the same way the bomb would. It's just a lot easier to stab than it is to bomb.
Jamie really showing what a guy with beam sword can do on likes. If you knock him across the room, the beam can get the second hit. That's 8 damage from the magical sword on something that has 13 health. 13, is that right?
Thought
No,
like said
like-
9.
9?
Yeah, it's
9.
enough that you need to do 5 white sword hits in order to kill it, or 3 magical sword hits.
So yeah, bringing it down right away. Magic sword.
Pierpont having a little bit of trouble here with the Dark Nuts wanting to cooperate in the third and final blue Dark Nut room here. Not necessarily, then getting hugged by one. Not necessarily having a huge bit of a difficult time killing them, just them coming to him because apparently they like living and don't feel like being all stabby.
Going up for Gleeok with 8 hearts, I think it's more than sufficient. He could be able to face tank this fight and not have to worry about anything but his refill. Go off to 9.
Yeah.
Jamie's gonna work his way towards Goma.
Mm-hmm. And as a just to compare, 2 heads versus the 4-headed Gleeok. With the magical sword, this Gleeok only takes 9 hits total, 3, 2, 2, and 2. Or just to compare, assuming they had the wooden sword against the first Gleeok, it would be 10 and 6. So it's 16 hits for 2 heads as opposed to 9 hits for 4. Factor in the white sword, it would be 5 and 3 as opposed to 3, 2, 2, and 2. So magical sword definitely makes Gleeok a lot easier.
Jamie was able to fill up his health also quite a bit, only taking a 1 heart refill after 6, but he switches the recorder beforehand, so he's not going to try bomb strats on the way to 2.
No smoke strats.
2, you can actually kill a Gleeok in 6 hits if you pick up the magical rod in level 6, but no one seems to do that.
No rod strats, no banana strats. No.
Another magical wand strat. I think people were considering that at one point, trying to see if it would be viable because of the fact that you can swing the rod and sword at the exact same time and therefore do double damage. But it just
1.5 damage.
Well, sorry, the damage from both of the two things together. I usually do it with white swords, so that's the reason I was thinking it was double damage. My apologies. But basically, you could get damage from both of the items at once. But the problem is just simply getting up there and getting that sword. It just doesn't seem viable. I mean, the only possible place where you would gain on that would be if you were trying to do a white sword game, but trying to do white sword level 6 and level 9 seems to be a very scary proposition.
Yeah, Wizrobes unfortunately don't take damage from the rods. There's really no point in grabbing it.
Jam with a nice first blue Dark Knight rune there, ending up with only half heart damage, doing most of it.
Nice and safe, but not. He's really got to hustle here. We're just basically waiting on Catastrophe to befall Pierpont. He's already in 9.
Mr. Consistency with Catastrophe.
He is only at 3 bombs though, so we'll have to see how this goes out for him. He might fight Patrilon.
Yeah, but he does have the requisite 3 keys he needs to get through the rest of level 9.
Unless you something sort of KMAC problem.
Yeah,
Try to open the door north of the Zal.
Yeah, Pierpont did pick up the potion down at Candle Row before he got here, though, so he's looking pretty good. It would take something, as you said, catastrophic, like a double Wizrobe beam sniping him or something to really cause him to lose that much time.
Or the worst possible thing would be getting a beam right as he's about to place a bomb somewhere. Wow, that was a pretty nice dodge, all things considered, with the way that Patra acted there to only cause 1 damage.
Get Patra's bombs and then work up a count on Old Man and then force a bomb here in the Wizzy room. Let's hope that goes okay for him.
Yeah, good shot.
Executes it splendidly.
Oh, nice.
And the reason that you're allowed to do that is you probably can't hear the sound here, but every time you hear the enemy kill sound, which is the what you do here when you stab the old man, it does actually tick up the consecutive kills counter. Jam there was... Go ahead.
6-second detour to pick up that heart container.
Yeah, he was also trying to force the a bomb drop off of the Gleeok by using a bomb to hit the floating heads, but got hit before he could kill it.
Well, thank goodness this guy brought some extra rupees out of level 7 because he can actually... Well, he was going to buy some bombs, but the Moblin dropped him for him, so now he's good to go. Yeah,
I've seen some people use that as a as an alternate strat there to trying to grind out and hope for lucky bombs. It's just really because for those of you who are unaware, at least for bomb dropping purposes, the enemies that are in the quote unquote bomb group can potentially drop bombs with a 3. There's 3 out of the possible 10. Basically, 30% chance that they'll drop a bomb. Whoa, that is.
Pierpont's gonna have to take a potion.
Yeah, he's definitely taking a potion here. He doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that gives him Beam Sword to help finish the room off pretty quickly. But anyway, so there's a 30% chance that, if you kill one of the enemy dropping group enemies, that they have a bomb. And it's a 3/8 chance that they'll drop an item in the first place. Or technically, I think it's like 7/16, but who's counting? Regardless of which, there's a low probability of dropping in a thing in the first place. So it's not great odds of getting a bomb. But if you kill enough of them, the numbers add up over time.
Jam deciding to take 6 damage for no reason, not entering level 9.
He skipped the potion though, right? I think he's basically...
Yeah, he's going all in.
He's going YOLO here.
This is not good to start off with half health and 9. If you're going to go potionless, at least bring a beam with you. We'll see what he does. This guy is a talented randomizer player. Level 9 is a bit random in itself. A lot of enemy movement going on. Yeah, Wizrobes move diagonally. You have a lot of mobs in each room, so See if he just stays on his toes here. Pierpont is going up into the second little like pit up here. Gets a nice little skip. He's got the 2 requisite bombs, so no problems here as long as he doesn't get any misplacements going on, which happens to even the best of players.
Jam was trying to set up a count with that Keese, but Keese decided he was having none of that.
Yeah, it took some another half damage.
No bomb issues now here.
Yeah. Had the wisdom there to go ahead and start dropping them as soon as he picked them up. So that room clears much easier with bombs that do diagonal damage, which is the only way to really fight Wizrobe safely.
Jam is fighting the Patra.
Wow.
Patra,
Oh, and is he going to get an infinite loop? Oh, he does, but he manages to successfully kill the Patra, so...
perfect.
Yeah, the infinite loop.
Pierpont with the black and white swag bomb.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I was aiming for that, but rarely hit it.
Yeah,
This is
basically
in my
what happened.
PV video.
Yeah, basically what happens with that black and white is if the bomb explodes exactly the same frame where you exit the dungeon or the downstairs basement, you'll get the black and white. Pierpont getting the first stab on Ganon.
Yeah, he took the stab from the right instead of up from the bottom, so... A little different fight, but very meticulous and safe so far. Doesn't want to get the old high roll driver.
No,
Gets him stunned.
Yeah, not getting the high roll driver, so you can hold back on those for now, chat, although you're going to spam them anyway, we know you. Again, Fred calling out the Mr. Consistent, mid-35 again for Pierpont. Stream time on his stream says the 35:39. Do we have an official race time?
Official race bot time for that race for PierpontLempkin was 35:44. The Ordinateur, very computer-like, consistent 35. So sub 36 for Pierpont once again. Gets the win and will continue to move on in his bracket.
Yeah.
Those who are wondering what we're referring to on Mr. Consistent is just simply the fact that he races a lot with us on the big Saturday night races. For those of you who like racing Zelda, every Saturday night we have pretty big races, usually around 10:30 Eastern on SRL, and he almost always, every single race, comes in like between 34 and 36 minutes. A time, just like that.
Jamie's in reverse C right now. He's had low health in this 9. He's doing great here. He only placed 2 bombs. Got a little bomb reward. He's been tinkering with his double clip as well. He probably will not give up until he gets it. Oh, nope.
Had it.
I spoke too soon. He was all set up for it. Alright, so he's going to get a silver arrow here at 36:55-ish if he stabs all of these keys. Nope, he left one behind. So he can actually sub 40 here still. Been ahead of his splits pretty consistently. Taking a huge handicap entering 9. Still in a good position to finish this race. Let's hope he doesn't take any deaths and have to forfeit or anything awful
nice
like
reverse
that.
clip.
Very nice reverse clip there.
Yeah, it's probably really refreshing after all that overworld struggle earlier in the race.
Yeah, he turned it on the second half of his race, but yeah, those initial few struggles definitely hurt him a bit. Just a little.
Yeah, and when we refer to the reverse clip, what that means is usually when you'll see any of the racers do what we call the block clip, which is what they've been using to skip all the killing enemies in the diamond staircase rooms. Usually you do it from below the blocks. The reverse clip is simply doing it from above.
It's a lot easier to line up the essentially the clip from below because you can line Link's head up with features on the blocks to see it a little bit better. Wow.
Great bomb there. I didn't expect that to reach the orange Wizrobe. Looked like he was a bit out of range, but I think he had 1 pixel on his little cloak right there, which apparently engulfed the Wizrobe in fire and caused him to die. All in that one little frame. Surprised you missed it.
Fire.
Ooh, okay, so Jamie should know how to get a fairy here. If he kills the blue, nope, he goes for the orange.
No, he killed that in the right order. He actually killed that in the right order for... Or would the 5 be the fairy for the blue?
You get the bomb dropping clock into A group fairy into D group fairy, and since the blues are in the D group, he needed to kill 1 and then the blue.
Yeah, so he ended up getting the 1 heart. At least he got the 1 heart because he might not know where the fairies drop on the D group, but that was the one place that the heart would drop on the bomb dropping group. So he may have just done that because he knew that was where the heart was. Or he could have just been killing them by random order.
Okay, I saw him gesticulate after he did that, and I think he just made a little brain fart. He knew what he wanted. Discussed this right in his warm-ups too. So.
Meanwhile,
He's just
Patra
trying to
3
finish.
getting some really random movement here. Looks very similar to what we saw in the Saber race a couple nights ago. Patra basically just saying, I don't want to deal with you, I'm going to go hover over the blocks here.
Yeah. For those curious about what we've been talking about, like the infinite loop thing, basically what it is you have those 8 different eyes that spawn around Patra as... Oh, almost had it. But anyway, the 8 eyes spawn around Patra. One of those 8, basically, if that's alive,
Nice.
then he shifts back and forth between killing, between the regular pattern and the spiral.
There's some sick rando wisdom
That
right
was
there.
nice.
Jam dropped to the top to get the last hit on Ganon, knowing where he was going to be. Gets you a little bit closer to the door to Zelda. Gets the swag
Nice.
finish.
Swag grayscale
Chromatic.
finish at least.
Film noir ending for poor Jamevil now has been eliminated from the tourney. Made a really good run. This guy, he didn't like any percent very much, but he did buckle down and practice a lot. He knew he was going to come into a struggle here against Pierpont, and unfortunately he wasn't able to pull out some miracles. No catastrophes befell our friend Pierpont, and Jammy here give us some snaps.
We are getting some
Be
snapping.
sure to follow these guys. Twitch.tv/Jamevil and Twitch.tv/PierpontLempkin.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going great. How you feeling right now? How was the 35XX race?
It was pretty good. I'm feeling relieved. Level 6 was a struggle, so I was a little worried there, but
I saw you dip
Really
down to
bad happened.
about a heart and a half.
Yep, that's it. One hit and you're done.
Then you were able to get 2 fairies, a heart drop, and I think another heart drop, and then not take a huge refill.
Yeah, and it ended up coming out okay.
But yeah, not a bad performance. A little bit behind your splits. Safety potion came in handy there when the reverse C kind of went haywire.
Yep, definitely.
Is that your standard race route? You get the potion no matter what?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty good strategy. Yeah, you're kind of ahead of Jam there for a while. I don't know if you're watching him, but he started off really strong, and then the clips were kind of 50-50 for a while, and then yeah, he just started bleeding out a little bit of time here and there, and finally ended up with a chromatic finish to combat your swag basement black and white Patra.
Right. Yeah, I was watching him out of the corner of my eye the whole time, and I saw I kind of had a lead.
Good. Well, you have to keep playing Zelda. It's not over for you yet, but you probably forecast this pretty well. You're getting really good times, and you're a very consistent player. What's do you want to tell you what's next, or do you know who's in your bracket?
I know who's next. It's going to be most likely King Hippo, I think.
Oh man, the Hippo. That is not the easiest of matches.
No, I'm going to have to turn it on and go all out on that one.
What does that mean? Go all out. Are we gonna do some 3 first? You gonna skip a potion? What are you gonna do?
No 3 first, but you know, I'll have to you know, I don't know. Yeah, I could go without the potion. I would be willing to try that.
All right, but don't mess up your spawns too much. I actually don't think it impacts your level 9. I tested it a little bit. I didn't really know, but
Yeah, I don't think it does at all, at least from what I've seen up to this point.
can mess up your rocks. Definitely doesn't mess up your nets, but yeah, man.
Rocks-
Well, yeah.
Well-
Buckle down. Hippo's got some really good times, so we're gonna have to see some practice from Pierpont. Hopefully, watch you get some runs in here and there. Hippo's got a 34-46 and a 34-36, so he's pretty consistent as well. And a 35-19, so he's putting up an average time of around 34-50 something, 59 perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, he's
that's-
not unbeatable, but I got to come out of the comfort zone here. I got to go below 35. I usually shoot this 35 range, but I'm going to have to go into the 34s if I want to win that one, for sure.
Yeah, you better believe it. Jamie, are you here too? I can see you.
I am. Hi. How's it going? Congratulations, Pierpont. Great time, Mr.
Thank you.
Consistent. Yeah, I went in with this knowing that I had very little chance, and really, this is my first match that I've ever raced. I just switched to console, so I was having difficulty with the screen scrolls that I was nailing in practice. So that cost me a good minute right there, just in screen scrolls. Then I had a bad level 5 recorder room, so that slowed me down a little bit. I didn't die at all, but man, that was rough for me. I was just bleeding time left and right. Every screen scroll was taking an extra, 5-10 seconds. So it really added up over time. I had a trouble through level 9. I went in with like 5 hearts down. That was rough, but at least I did some 3-heart practice in unintentional 3-heart practice in level 9 prior to the race, so that helped out a lot. Got a few good fairies off.
Your 9 did look pretty solid. I was extremely concerned that you'd have to end up forfeiting, but you did go in with 8 hearts. Picked up the extra heart container from level 8. I don't know if that's standard jammy practice, but taking like 6 seconds out of your time there to go down there, pick up the container, and then get the Triforce.
Oh, I knew where I was at that point. There was, I wasn't watching Pierpont, but I knew he had to have been decently ahead at that point, and I was way behind my normal time, so I figured might as well grab the heart. I do grab it because it's just an extra little safety net there, and it only takes a few seconds. I'm not going for a world record time here, but
yeah, nice of you to finish a race. Give us some black and white action, little noir there with the princess. Maybe this time she'll be saved forever.
Yeah. That was just because someone in my chat was like, "Oh, Pierpont did the Grayscale Patra." I'm like, "Oh, Grayscale Patra. All right, I got this."
Well, very nice of you to take the extra time to line that up for us.
Sure, not a problem. Looks like I'm going on to play No One. This is the end of my tournament, and I've had a fantastic time. So I wanted to thank you all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for participating and casting. And good luck in the future there, Pierpont.
Thank you.
You're welcome.